How long you think it was gonna take before we got here? Now you gotta prove yourself all over again. Come on.
Ain't nobody coming, I've been gunning from 100 yards, trying to hit my mark, missing every time. This will be the start of the picture perfect. Watch you.
I don't know what's going on, Mr. Terry. I noticed before the show started yesterday, we were both dressed in blue. Today, we're both dressed in the Horse Racing Today red. Folks, it's not coordinated. Terry and I are not on a date at Great America, virtually through the StreamYard here. But nonetheless, maybe it worked out yesterday. Terry had a nice pick four, paid over $200. I had one. I paid about $95. Couple of trifectas for me, a nice exacta for Terry.
Yep.
So maybe wearing the same color coordinating, maybe is on par with like the Ghostbusters when they did this with their streams and they were able to get rid of the big marshmallow man.
I think you're right.
Well, if you want to look as good as Terry does in the red number one of the things you can do, big favor, head on over to horseracingtoday.net. We always have got good stuff up on there. Yesterday's show's there where we put all of our notes. So all of our notes go on horseracingtoday.net along with some stories. I have another one coming from Ronaldo de Gallo. Just been busy. Haven't had a chance to get to it yet. But when you get there, if you also hit on that HRT gear, it's going to take you to this page right here. So get yourself a Horse Racing Today t-shirt, a great way to support the show. And we can use all the support we can get because we'd like to take some of those funds. You get a t-shirt, we'll take those funds and turn it into software where we can do like the comfort zone and the simulations and all of the pace setup and all that kind of good stuff. And make it available for every track every single day. Good morning, Christopher D'Souza. What about you? You did good yesterday, too. You got that nice 2-horse yesterday, right, at 9-2. That hit off for you that you said you're going to win play show on. So that was a good one.
Was that in that last race, wasn't it?
I think it was the last race. Yes, indeed. Hello, Jose Flores. Yes, indeed. We are going to cover Parx Racing. Buenas tardes, indeed. Buenas tardes, wherever you are in the mundo. That's about it for me, Espanol. Speaking of last night, Terry, we had on jockey, Hall of Fame jockey, Corey Nakatani. If you have not had a chance to see the wisdom of a Hall of Famer, great insights into the sport of horse racing. It's a fantastic show. You can find it right here on Horse Racing Radar TV on YouTube, or you can also find a replay on Facebook. Make sure you check that out. It's not often you get to hear first-hand account from one of the greats, Terry.
It was good too. Yeah, a lot of things he said that I didn't even realize. So, yeah, I like watching those. I try to watch them every night.
Pick up so much stuff off of those shows. And tonight, we're gonna have another great guest with Julie and Sean. They'll be joined by Dubs Anderson from FanDuel TV.
Yeah,
so it's got some good information about racing. That'll be again 8:00 tonight, right here on Horse Racing Radar TV. The best way to make sure you don't miss Dubs, Corey, Mike Smith, whoever we have on as guests, because we always have a great roster of guests Monday through Wednesday. Terry, what's the best thing to do?
You need to subscribe at YouTube, hit the little bell so that you get notification whenever our shows are coming up. Give us a thumbs up and a like there. Go to our social sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Horse Race, the number 2 day. And give us a thumbs up and likes there. Let all your friends, neighbors, relatives, everybody know so they can come and make a good day for them too.
Yes, we can all dress in red.
That's it.
It's terrific Terry Tuesday at Parx Racing after a Money Monday. Heck, we both had a profitable day yesterday. So let's see if we can keep the good times rolling in red, Terry.
All right.
First up is a 6-furlong race claiming $7,500. Profile of a 6-furlong winner at the Ben Salem racetrack has tactical speed. 36% of the time they have front end speed because they go wire to wire. Post positions play fair 1 through 7, 8 and out. You do get a little bit of a bonus, Terry. We simulate 1,000 races using speed figures right here to come up with fair odds. And then we also simulate 1,000 races to see who will be where at the quarter-mile marker. And within that, we create what's called a proprietary score known as C-Zone. The higher the score, the more likely that horse is going to get a trip that's comfortable and fits with its winning performances.
That's
Terry,
right.
according to the early speed, Lucky Breeze is going to be more than a breeze early on.
Yeah, that horse has lots of speeds, and according to that quarter percent lead at the quarter, and should get there first. The 4 may have a little bit to say about it, but other than that, not much there. But the 2 has a really pretty nice overlay, supposed to be like 9-2. It's listed at 10-1 in the morning line, and the 5 has a very small overlay, supposed to be like 5-2, and is listed at 3-1 on the morning line. So the only thing I see there is that 2 has a really good C zone, and the 4. And unfortunately, I should have went all in this race for my daily double. But
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times we've seen the C zone score and an overlay combine to become a winner.
yeah,
And here we both are overlooking it because we're just dumb.
yeah,
Looking
and
at the this race should be run. You don't have pure pilots in here. So not any e-horses. You have co-pilots in the 4 and 6. So those 2 look like they want to be forwardly placed. But it looks like that 3-horse Lucky Breeze, a closer traditionally, has the early speed to be forwardly placed. In my book, that's what you call a left arrow horse. And you'll see that horse move forward and to the left. Unfortunately for it, as a closer, it doesn't have a whole lot of late legs in there with that Lucky Breeze. That belongs to the 6-horse Rose Legacy and Angel of the Galaxy, the 2 pressure horses. So they might sit right behind that 3-horse, see if the 3-horse tires. And if so, try to go by late. If you put together the early part of the race and the late part of the race, the 6, the 4, and the 3, and the 5. So the 3, 4, 5, and 6 stand out above the 2 and the 7. Terry, the 2-horse being the one with the overlay and the nice C-zone score. The one we both left off. Let's see if we did the right thing.
well, first of all, I did add it back in there because I have $2 left in my budget. But anyway,
Oh,
I like to.
I see how that goes.
Yeah, I saved a little just in case. I like the 3 as my first pick. Lucky Breeze. She won her her last race at Parx Racing. She has a good workout on May 10th. Rose Legacy is the 6 is my second choice. She has a high percentage winning jockey and a trainer who wins 21% of the starts in claiming races. And then Angel of the Galaxy, my third pick, number 4, ran second in her last race, and the distance will not be a problem. 7, Queen Lucky is my long shot. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I'm going to just take all in the $1 daily double to the 1, 2 in the second race.
So you know that guarantees that the favorite, like the 2 to 5 favorite, is going to come home the winner. Christopher D'Souza, he has the 4-2 exacta box to open it up in race number 1 today. I like the 4-horse in here too, Angel of the Galaxy. Speaking of which, I'm going to go check out that movie Guardians of the Galaxy this weekend. I heard it's my son told me it's interesting, but a little bit different than the first couple of them. Did show better fractions last time out at 6.5 furlongs versus 6 furlongs, which showed up in improved early pace figures. Again, off of one of the shows where we had Craig Milkowski on as a guest from Timeform USA, said when you see the early pace figures improve, almost always a sign of a horse on the upswing. Lucky Breeze, that 3-horse coming off her maiden win, tends to have a little bit of late run to her, but this shows some early pop in there. I'm not the biggest fan of maiden claiming risers that don't have the highest last race speed figure. 6, Rose Legacy, first off the claim, and a nice workout since last time out. The horse did hold its speed a little bit deeper into the race, so I'd expect a better performance off of that claim and work. And then finally, Nana's Bupa, and we haven't quite figured out what a Bupa is yet, Terry, though we've seen the Bupa show up a few times. They run better fractions last out, despite going a little bit longer as well. 50-cent trifecta for me, 3, 4, 3, 4, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm probably going to regret not having the 2 in there, Terry. Probably. Maybe I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do, Terry? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do like you. I'm going to switch that 7 out, and I'm going to flip it to the 2.
But you have money left, you know.
It's okay. Do I have money left? I thought I spent 100 exactly.
Nope.
No, well, me and my math, right?
Yep.
That's because I'm always kind of trying to figure out what I'm doing on the fly. I don't.
Yeah, you had $7 left, so
that's okay. I'll just go. You know what? I'll screw it. I'll do all in the back end then, Terry, because then I have $4 left. How about that? I can't go wrong now.
That sounds good.
A little bit of fudging along the way. Hello, Melvin Torres. How are you this morning, my friend? Good to see you as always. Melvin starting off the day with a hot pick 5. So let's see if we can come home a winner, Melvin. 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's in agreement with us that this race is pretty wide open in race number 1, 1, 2, and 6 in race 2, singling up the 4 in race 3, race number 4, the 2 and the 5, and closing it out in race 5 with the 2, 3, and 5. No entendiendo. I don't know what that means, but it's apparently pretty funny because you got the funny. How long do we have to the first race here, Terry? A couple minutes.
1 minute.
Are they loading up yet or not?
Yeah, they're getting there right now, so they must be loading. Some a little bit behind.
Yes, they're beginning to load. So we'll just go straight to race number 1, and then we'll go on to race number 2. Jessica Paquette in my ear as she gets ready to announce the opener at Parx. And so far, none have gone in. They're just kind of mingling in the backs. The horses are socializing before the race gets started today. If you haven't done so yet, kindly go ahead and hit the like button on Facebook and YouTube. It helps us with their algorithms. So when people put in to the search box, horse racing or Parx, will pop up close to the top. Also, hit the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. Follow us on our social media sites. Bupa means term of endearment. All right, thank you, Charles. Is that what you're called, Bupa? That's Charles's new nickname, Bupa.
Bupa. All right.
Right now, he's regretting putting that up on the thing there. Right?
Yeah.
What channel or page can you see it live? The racing, we talk about, you can go to RTN Racing Network. You can subscribe. I think it's like $5 a month, $10 a month, something like that. You can get all of the races live. You can also subscribe, if you haven't done so yet, to a service where you can make bets. So if you're in the United States, TVG, Twin Spires, that sort of stuff, bet us out of the United States. You also have the one down in Australia. I forget the name of it right now. But in any case, the first race is off, and it looks like the 7 horse. Is that the 7 horse? Is taking, no, the 6 horse is indeed taking the lead. Rose Legacy popping to the front there, Terry. 3 horse on the rail, the 7 horse to the outside. Queen Lucky. You have the 5 horse trying to split horses in the middle there. That 2 horse that we put in at the end is all by itself in the back. They come down to opening quarter in 23-1 to 6. Rose Legacy at 6-5, the morning line favorite. Terry, I told you it guaranteed it was going to be the winner, right?
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yes, he's got a pretty good lead. The question now is the 3 horses trying to make up ground. Yesterday, we did see that speed kind of did fade a little bit at the end. I don't think the 6 horses faded, folks.
Yeah.
Because it looks to me like the jockey's got a pretty good hold on it. The 5 is trying to run it down. The 7, here comes the 4 late, but it doesn't seem to want to run. The 5 horse found some jets right there, Terry. He might, I think 5 is going to get him.
All right.
There you go. Yes. The 5, the 6, and then the 7 is going to get him too, Terry. So
wow.
5, 7, 6 in the opener. So Nana's Bupa, a term of endearment. The new name for Charles Bupa is your winner in race number 1. So once again, Terry, we saw that speed did not stick today.
It did not. Nope.
Parx. And that horse had a pretty good lead right there by itself.
He did.
Keep that in mind for the rest of the day, that maybe speed is not holding at Parx, that horses coming off the pace as we look through the late pace figures might be where you find some winners.
Yeah, the 5 was a nice 4-1 too to start off.
You're double. Now you need the 1 or 2 to pop in there. I thought that race was pretty wide open too, Terry. It's kind of why I didn't do a whole lot in there. Race number 2 is a 1 mile and 70 yards. I think we have a few 1 mile and 70 yarders today at Parx. This being the first of them. Early speed has been the way, but again, the last 2 days we've not seen speed stick. So look for a horse that maybe 2nd, 3rd, maybe 4th coming around that last turn. There is a little bit of a rail edge. 2 and 7 play fair in this maiden claiming $25,000 race. 8 and out, you do have a little bit of a penalty. Speed, I don't know, Terry, if it's going to hold up. So if speed does matter, it looks like the 2 or the 3, those 2 are going to be out front duking it out, and maybe both of them are going to fade at the end.
Could be. They're going to go head to head to the quarter pole, and the only the overlays I see are the 1 is pretty nice, supposed to be even money on the simulated odds, and it's 3-1 in the morning line, and then the 7 is a little bit of an overlay. It's supposed.
No, I'm just telling the guy the 5-horse one.
Oh, the 7's a little bit overlay. It's supposed to be 5-2, and it's listed at 9-2 on the morning line. As far as the C zones, the 2, 4, and 6 have the pretty nice looking C zone numbers. So there you go.
All right. So the C zone score is looking good for a trio of horses. Let's see how it looks good for them if the race shape that they want. The 2 and the 6, they're front runners. They get that E designation, meaning that they want to be on the lead to have their best chance to probably win if they get up front. And neither one of them looks like they're going to get that. Once again, we see the 3-horse might be the pace setter in the never close column. So the never close column horses haven't been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line in any of the last 10 starts or up to the last 10 starts. Maybe one of them today, the 3-horse, by moving forward, can change its luck in that regard. In terms of late pace, which we just saw take over and dominate, the 1-horse and the 7-horse, they stand above the rest. So maybe your winner is going to come from the 1 or the 7. Terry, if you put together the early speed and the late speed, the 7-horse has a 6-point advantage over the 7, over the 6 Golden Wildcat. Pretty tight race, except for maybe the 4 and the 5. It looks like they might fall into that never close camp again, Terry. With closers showing the way the last couple of days, Terry, what do you got? I got a closer on top.
Well, I have the number 2 horse, which is, I think, a front runner, my boy Colton. He ran second he ran second in his last race as a favorite, but has a trainer wins 28% of the races when bringing back a beaten favorite to race again. This high percentage trainer and jockey is what he has. And then the number 1 is my second choice. That's a closer. Drops in class today. The rail post is winning in 19% clip. He has the highest last speed rating. He's tied with another horse. Then I like Golden Wildcat, number 6, my third pick. He drops in class today, switches to a high percentage winning jockey, and has a trainer wins 21% of the maiden claiming races he has an entry in. And then I like the 7 is my long shot, Supreme Being. He drops in class today, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I'm going to play a $1 exacta. I'm going to box the 1, 2, 6.
I am going to start with a closer, Supreme Being. Did tie for the top last race speed figure. That's Supreme Being. I believe it's the only pure maiden special weight dropper in the race. Biggest drop in all of horse racing, as our old friend Tom Carley used to say. That's the guy you were asking about the other day, Terry.
Yeah.
The name just popped into my head like 4 days later. That's how long it takes for get through all that residual stuff in the gray matter. Number 1, the excuse for a lot of people the next day. Tequila made me do it, Terry. It's the other to tie for the top last race figure. And in the race, its internals, the early pace, the mid pace, the late pace, all improved off the prior start. It's going to be the right distance for this horse to graduate today as well. 10 times out, 5 seconds and 3/3. So Bob Dylan, knocking on the winner's door. Number 2, my boy Colton. Did hold its speed longer in the last race, although that might be difficult again today. It's a nice workout in between races, suggesting that the horse should remain sharp or even be a little bit better. Golden Wildcat, that 6 horse is my final choice. Drops back to a class where it was very competitive. Didn't win, obviously. But at Parx, 9 races out, 2 seconds and 4/3. Looks like one that definitely fits in the back end of exactas and trifectas. So I didn't put it in my pick 4. I went with the 1, 2, 7, with the 1, the 4, the 5. I'm going to single up the 6 in race number 4. And then in the 5th race, the 2, 5, 7 to close it out for my pick 4. Hopefully can catch that one with that single in there. In the 3rd race, Mr. Terry, they're going to charge 1 mile and 70 yards again. As we mentioned, 1 mile and 70 yards. So Christopher D'Souza in race number 2. He likes the 4 to win, place, and show. Hopefully that does indeed work out to be the case. Because I think for Christopher, everybody wants to win it, right, Terry?
That's right.
So Felizmi Passan, Mark, I have no idea, my friend. I'm sorry. So you like the 4 horse too, I guess? I'm not sure. We need to have like a translator here so we can translate and then get right back into it, right, Terry?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Or someone who speaks Spanish to join us. I mean, we'd be all open for that as a in-house interpreter.
Yeah.
And then also can make picks and join us. I wouldn't mind doing that at all. You and me in English and another person in Spanish.
Yeah.
Number 3, again, a mile and 70 yards, early speed, 28% wire to wire. The rail does better than the rest. 8 and out, gets a little bit penalized. 2 through 7, they're fair. Looking at the early speed in race number 3, Terry, from our simulator, you're going to find that, the 6 horse is out. He wasn't going to contribute. All but the 1 or 3 looks like they could try for the front.
Yeah, that's right. The 5, it looks like is going to have the most speed, but the 4 and the 2, they may have something to say about that, getting to that quarter pole. And then the 1 has got a really nice overlay. It's supposed to be less than even money, and it's set at 3-1 on the morning line. The 5 is supposed to be just under 2-1. It's a small overlay, and it's going to be 5-2 in the morning line. So, and then as far as the C-zone goes, look there, that 1, that 2, and that 5 have really good C-zone. Most of them really do, except for the 3 and the 4 a little bit less.
And the way to the winner's circle for race number 3 presents itself. The 2 and the 5, well, you got basically a barbell race. The 2 and the 5 want to be up front. The 1, the 3, and the 4 want to be in the back. So let's see in the early speed, which one of those 2 horses is going to have the lead. It looks like that belongs to the 5 horse, Esor. 10-point advantage over the other E horse. Drummer. That one should come in there as well. Maybe split those 2, run second in there. But it does look like the 5 will have the early advantage. On the way home, boy, Liberty Runner. Look at that late pace advantage over everybody else, Terry. What is that? A 21-point edge?
It is, yeah.
So you're going to have the 5 up here and the 1 here, and then they'll see if they can switch roles by the time the race ends, Terry. The question between those 2 horses is going to likely be pace, because they have a 13-point advantage over the next group.
Yeah.
It has an 8-point advantage. I think this race probably does come down to the 1 or 5. The question is it speed or is it closer? Terry, you went closer.
I did. I went with that deep closer, Liberty Runner. The number 1 horse ran second in his last race, and the rail post is winning at a 19% clip. He has the highest left speed rating. Esor, the 5 is my second choice. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. 4, Drum and Drummer. He switches to a high percentage winning jockey, has a trainer wins 25%.
You want to hear something annoying?
Yeah, what's that?
You ever seen that?
That's annoying. And start with a trainer. Number 2, Major Cam's my long shot, finished in the money in 4 out of 8 races at Parx Racing and won one of those races. I'm going to play a trifecta there. It's a rich trifecta, kind of. It's a 1-4-5 with the 1-4-5 with the 1-2-4-5.
I think it comes down to the 1 or 5. Short field, I tend to lean towards speed. So I'm going to go towards Esor in the 3rd race off of the break. The win or nothing jockey right now, Sophia Vivas. I think she's got 12 races and 3 of them. In the last 12 races, she's won 3, nothing else. So she's going to either win, finish off the board. Does have some back speed, and I do like the fact that this horse has a bullet workout getting prepped for today. That bullet was on May 6th, so just a couple of days ago. Liberty Runner, that 1 horse, that strong overlay there, Terry, with that big in-race advantage at the end. Does have the top last race speed figure, catches the hot rail. And interestingly, this horse upped its speed figure 7 races in a row, Terry. I don't know how difficult it is to do it 8 races in a row, but if you've done it 7, you might as well do it 8.
That's right.
Drum and Drummer. Pretty good drop in class here for this guy, Terry. Decent workout between races, and has some chance to do better in the second start at Parx after arriving from South Florida and Gulfstream. Finally, the 2 horse, as we just flip around the first 2, everything else is the same. Major Cam, that last race was better than it looks with stronger in-race numbers, particularly in the later half of that race. I'm going to do $1 trifecta, 1-5, 1-5, and then the 2, 3, 4. So essentially all on the back end.
Okay.
And the race number 4 is the next on our list of things to do today, Terry. Again, it is another one that's a mile and 70 yards. We did mention early speed, about 30% go wire to wire, a little bit of a rail advantage. 2 through 7 play fair, a little bit of a ding if you wear 8 and out. Speed hasn't been holding, but if it does in race number 4, Terry, well, there's plenty of them in race 4 that want to get to the front, and the line is out.
Yeah, the 5, 4, and 2 have pretty good speed numbers at the quarter, getting to the quarter pole. So who knows who's going to get there first? Just depends on who gets the best break and the least amount of trouble, I would think. And then the 4 has a overlay. It's supposed to be like five. What's that? 5-2
Mhm.
simulated odds, and it's 5-1 on the morning line. As far as the C zones, the 6 has the really good C zone number, and then it's followed up by the 4 and the 5.
And the race structure, at least what people are looking for here, you got the 4 and the 5 are EP types. So they're comfortable piloting or co-piloting. They don't need to be on the lead to get the job done. Of those two, it sure looks like the 4 horse might be the pace setter, with the 5 horse taking that EP type position, the stalker position, which might be where you want to be, along with that 6 horse in there. When they come down the stretch, it looks like we have another one that has a pretty good late legs in there. The 2 grit and grind at that, and weekend in court, and somebody, that trio should be up for the challenge as they come down to the wire. And then if you put the early speed and late speed together, you got a 12-point advantage for somebody. Usually if you get a 10-point spread between it and the next horse, that's good enough to make sure that that horse gets in the money at least. So the kind of horse that you want to center your exactas and trifectas around, maybe trifecta wheel, exacta wheel, something along those lines. Terry, what do you have in mind?
Well, I like the number 6 somebody, and it was funny because I was watching them talking to the announcer at Parx, and she was saying she's wishes they would never have named a horse somebody because she feels ridiculous when she says somebody's ahead.
Well,
So anyway, he
you
won
know,
his
that could be a good thing though for a new horse announcer, because then you can put that horse anywhere and you're right.
That's right. Anyway, he won his last race at Parx Racing, has the highest last speed rating, has a high percentage winning trainer. 5 is my second pick. Social Group drops in class today, has a high percentage winning jockey. Grit and Grind, number 2, is my third choice. You're at second in his last race, and he has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Then for my long shot, I like the 4 Keith, whatever.
I go with Kith.
Okay, Kif. He likes Parx Racing, finishing in the money 56% of the races that he's ran there, and he won 19% of those starts, and he can handle this distance. I'm going to play a pick 4. I'm going to use the 50-cent pick 4, 2, 5, and 6. With the 2, 3, 5, and 7, I'm going to single the 5 and the 6 race, and then I'm going to go with the 2, 5, 6, and 7.
So we got a couple of other picks in here, and if, like Christopher D'Souza, you like a horse in the race 4, he likes the 3 horse to win, to place, and to show. Melvin Torres, he's going somewhere completely different. He loves his pick 5s and pick 6s. He's going off the Thistle Downs. Pick 6, 1, 7, 5 with the 1, with the 3, 7, 4, with the 3, 5, 6, with the 5, 9. Jot that one down real quick before you head on over to make your plays at Thistle Downs. Of course, we have our picks at Thistle Downs over a guaranteed tip sheet as well. You can check that out, as well as picks for Finger Lakes today being a free track. And I can tell you, I got a feeling we're going to have a pretty strong day at Finger Lakes today. A lot of horses showed up at the top with some very strong scores. Race number 1 in traffic is our first bet there. And you can catch that with the link down in the description below. Please make sure you do that indeed. And then Dirk, Double D's, he in race number 2, he's going to go with the 7 daily double with the 1 straight up. A daily double of integrity. Just 1 horse on both sides, Terry.
All right.
Kind of like that. In race number 4 for me, I got somebody as well as my winner. As I mentioned, does have that pretty strong early pace, late pace combination to edge over the rest of the field. Last time out, beat the field by about 7 1/4 lengths, and did so with the top last race speed figure. Looking for a repeat performance. The horse that has by far the strongest C-zone score. Grit and Grind, close hard in its last race with a very powerful late pace number and an extremely consistent performer. You're going to have to beat this one because it's not going to roll over for you. The 5 horse Social Group, claim and drop, does have a decent workout between races off that claim for trainer Patricia Faro. She's done the claim and drop 1 time before, and that converted into a trip to the winner's circle. Finally, Kith does have early pace, likes to be close to the front. Very dangerous if this one hoards the lead into the stretch, because when you look through the past performances, if it can maintain its lead into the stretch, that confidence grows to the point where the horse usually finds the winner's circle. I'm going to do a trifecta key because I feel like a couple of those races coming up, Terry, it's just too deep for me to spend that much money when we're limited to $100. I'm going to do a trifecta key with the 6 horse winning, with the 2, the 4, and the 5 coming in any order of second and third.
All right.
How long do we have to the next race, my friend?
You have 8 minutes.
Oh, so we have plenty of time to do race number 5 then, right?
Yep.
In the 5th race, these horses are going to travel 6.5 furlongs. At 6.5 furlongs, the sort of horse that has been winning does have some early speed. About a third of them go wire to wire. Pretty good inside 3 bias, Terry, at 6.5 furlongs. 4 through 7, for whatever reason, those horses really struggle. 8 and out, they go back to fair. So inside speed, but maybe inside stalker, Terry. In race number 5, it looks like that inside stalker, speed's going to be Pearl Be Dancing.
That's right. It'll be 2 and the 7 that shows some pretty good speed. It just depends on who gets out of the gate again, and that 7 might overcome that 2 if he gets a good break. But I think they may go head to head there. There's a small overlay on the 7. It's supposed to be 5-2 or a little bit more than 2-1. It's listed at 9-2 on the morning line. And as far as the C zones go, well, look at that 2 and that 6. Boy, that's really nice C zone numbers.
Yeah, those 2 should get trips that they really feel at home with. And let's see if that matches up with the pace sheet. Well, you got the 2 and the 6. Those 2 want to be out front. The 1, 3, and 4, they want to be in the middle. The 3 horse, Advocate Harbor, that one's not been close yet. Interestingly, did score well with the early pace, late pace figure. So maybe a little bit of upset brewing in this race. Also see a suspicious horse in here, Terry. That's that 7 horse. Whenever you see one in the middle by itself, it's almost one much like those horses with a very strong early pace, late combination. You have to consider. They usually get really good trips no matter how bad they look on paper. Early speed does belong to that 2 horse, Pearl Be Dancing. That 6 horse might not be all that happy about that. Maybe some false bravado early on from Bella Maria, only to tail off at the end. On the way home, Advocate Harbor, that never been close horse, should be a part of the early pace too. It, with the 1 and the 4, have a lot of late speed relative to the rest of the field. And then if you put it all together, it looks like you have a pretty good race here, except for maybe Bella Maria, the one we thought might be false hope up front. Terry, which one do you think is going to be the one up front at the end?
I like that number 7, America's Pride. She won her last race at Parx Racing, drops in class today, and has a high percentage winning jockey. I like 5 Scarf as my second choice, finished 3rd versus similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 40% of the races in the second start with that trainer. And then number 3, Advocate Harbor is my 3rd choice, finished 3rd versus similar in her last race. Should improve while returning to a sprint, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then I like the 2 as my long shot, Pearl Be Dancing. She ran 2nd versus similar in her last race. She has the highest last speed rating. I'm not going to make a bet in this race.
And Christopher D'Souza says, load up on the 6 horse, Bella Maria, with that super strong C-zone score. 90.99 in Pearl Be Dancing. Those 2 sharing the top score there. Again, if you haven't done so, I want to say thank you to Philip Perkins. We can see the thumbs up on Facebook. The truth is that 99.9% of the folks watch us on YouTube. We can't see who gives us thumbs up on YouTube, but we do appreciate them nonetheless. Please do that. It's one of the ways you can help support the show. I'm going to go with the 7 horse, Terry. Like you, I guess we both have the 7-5. A lot of agreement today. America's Pride. What I like about this one is last time out, it ran against Open Company without conditions. Today, it actually drops to non-winners of 3. It showed a lot of extra juice early on in its last race. So it might not look like it on paper, but the horse is taking a nice class drop. Number 5, Scarf, did up its speed numbers 3 races in a row. If you've been around here long enough to know, I'm a big fan of Barry Meadows and his book, The Skeptical Handicapper. Head on over to Amazon, pick that one up if you haven't. If you're into statistics and data and looking at thousands of different angles to find out which ones actually are predictive. But the Scarf, along with those 3 increased speed figure numbers, did run similar fractions at 7 furlongs in its last start compared to 6 furlongs in its previous start. And that was the first race for trainer James Noble, who's turning this horse around in 14 days. Usually a sign that the trainer thinks the horse has got plenty of juice in it. Pearl Be Dancing, considerably faster fractions last out. That added up to the top last race speed figure. And then finally, number 3, Advocate Harbor continues to show improved late legs in every race, the last 4 or 5 races in a row. Going to cut back in distance. And those late legs showed up in the first couple of races yesterday and so far today. I think the cut back in distance helps Advocate Harbor. Trifecta for me, 257 over to 57 over the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. And then let's see. You like
3
this,
minutes.
Tim? And yeah, it's 3 minutes. Okay, that's enough time to get through race number 6. I think, Terry, if we go fast, what do you think?
I think so.
All right, so let's talk in hyper mode. Race 6, real quick. 1 mile. First time we're going to see, and I think the only time we're going to see 1 mile today in race number 6. This is the race where speed is probably the most important because 50% of the horses have gone wire to wire, Terry. You do have an inside 3 edge over the rest of the field. The closer you are to the rail, the better. If early speed's going to matter, if I remember correctly, Terry, that 7 horse is the one that has the best shot to go wire to wire.
It does. The 7 has a really good shot, but look, the 5's got a little bit there too. The 7's also the overlay. It's supposed to be a little over even money. It's 2-1 on morning line. And then almost, let's see, 4 of these horses have pretty good C-zones. 6, 1, and 7 have the best, with the 5 following up.
So if we take a quick look at who's going to be on the lead, well, it doesn't look like the 7 is lead dependent. The 5 horse there, EP horse, the 5 horse, Diane's Comet, that one could be on the lead or ride co-pilot. But that 7 horse, Valuable Bray, going to be on the lead. It looks like 8-point advantage over the rest of this crew. So I'm going to be surprised to see that one move forward this morning. The late speed belongs to Classy Miss. Does have some pretty good late legs, a little bit of an advantage over the rest of the field. Put together the early speed and the late speed, Classy Miss and Valuable Bray. Again, we see one of those races where it's going to be, does the horse on the front hold on, or does the horse off the pace catch up? Terry, how did you call it?
I like number 5, Diane's Comet. She's going for a second win in a row at Parx Racing, has the highest last speed rating and a high percentage winning trainer. She's actually my best bet of the day at Parx today.
Wow.
Number 1, Classy Miss, is my second pick. She likes Parx Racing, finishing in the money 50% of the races, winning 25% of the starts, and can improve while returning to a route. Her best dirt speed is fast among the starters. 6, Cream Carmel is got a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I also like the number 3 as my long shot. She was extremely wide in the turn, which severely affected her finish, and switches to a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to bet $10 to win on the number 5.
I'm going to start off with Valuable Bray. 50% of the horses go wire to wire. This one's going to be the pace setter. It does have a 8-point early pace advantage over everybody else. So maybe a length and a half. Maybe the jockey can tone it down a little bit, not go out too fast like we've seen a couple of jockeys do. I watched race yesterday. I'm a big advocate for jockeys, but I swear to you, Terry, I watched more jockeys lose races yesterday than win races. I think that early speed advantage in the drop in class helps Valuable Bray today. Crema Carmel probably has the most upside in the field with that 6 horse, but it's been regressing lately. And I think by maybe stretching the horse out today gives it a chance to bounce back. Diane's Comet, you're $10 to win. 5 horse did run the top last race speed figure in its first race off the bench. When I look at its second up record, it does show at times it can regress. At best, it runs the same race it ran last out, which it'll have to do to score the W today. And then finally, number 1, Classy Miss. Strong overlay, as you see, $4 horse on the morning line odds, 5-2 on the sim odds, with one of the top, in fact, the second best C-zone score. Try key for me, that 50% wire to wire 7 horse over the 1, the 5, and the 6. Let's rewind back to race number 2 because they're about to kick off race number 2. Terry?
All right.
And in race number 2, the 1 horse is your favorite right now at 2-1. Well, actually, the 2 horse is the favorite at 2-1 right now. It's down to 9-5. I don't know why they highlighted the 1 horse. Maybe some late money is going to come in on Tequila, made me do it. And then you have the 7 horse as your third favorite. The 6 horse is the 4th. And then everybody else is over 20-1, Terry.
Yep, that's right.
So we'll see how that plays out. They're all getting about in there. And soon they'll be running in race number 2. I think we're just waiting on the 7 horse. And he strides to the gates, goes in without any concerns. All the horses look like they're well behaved, although the 1 horse is getting a little bit antsy. Been there waiting for a while. 2 horse too. It looks like they got, the 2 horses being a little bit And the 2-horse is done. Forget that horse, I think, Terry.
What
Got
happened?
off to a really bad start in the gate. To the jockey's credit, though, for Ruben Silvera, he did not rush the horse up. So that's a positive. The 3-horse is on the lead, as we thought he might be, followed tightly by the 6-horse. So It's a Pity, Golden Wildcat. They're taking the 1-2. The 1-horse is in third, probably about a length and a half off the rest of the pack in third. Looks to me like the 5-horse in there. That is Dr. Magic taking in the 4th spot. Got a pretty good gap to the rest of the horses as they run through the opening quarter in 24 seconds. Order really hasn't changed. The 3-horse, It's a Pity, remains your leader on the rail, with the 6-horse just hugging it to the outside. Right now, the 1 and the 2 are trying to make up ground. And if the 2 does win this race, Terry, it was absolutely the best horse by a landslide over the rest of the field. Does look like the 7-horse in the back, as they go through the opening quarter in 49-2, is trying to make up ground. Question is, does he have enough time to do it? That 2-horse is going to take the shot at the 6-horse on the lead. I think right now, looking at the screen, the 7-horse is moving the best. He's about 3 lengths off of everybody else. The question is, does he got enough racetrack left to get the ground done? A 2-horse really off that tough start. If it wins, it's going to be a magnificent race for that guy. As they come through the turn right now, boy, that horse on the rail just kind of skimmed through there. I don't know which number that is. The 1-horse took that lead. He really cut that corner nicely. The question is, can the 7 catch him? To me, the 7 is moving the best, Terry. The 1 is trying to drift out to discourage him. I don't know that he's going to do so. It looks like it's going to be, the 1 is fighting back. It's going to be 7, 1, and 2. 7, 1, 2, and 6. Ice cold superfecta for me there, Terry. The one thing, though, is I have to admit the 2-horse was probably the best horse in the race. Unfortunately, the start is as important as the finish, and that horse really got off to a bad start.
Yeah, I think the start's even more important than the finish. So,
yeah, it's kind of like golf, right? The putt, 1 3-foot putt matters as much as a 300-yard drive, right?
Yep.
So Parx number 2, the 1-horse finished, I think, second in there.
Yeah.
Race number 6, we go back to race number 6, and our friend Christopher D'Souza, he likes the 7-horse in here. That is Valuable Bray to come home with the W. So that gives us 3 more races to cover, right, Terry?
That's right. No, 4.
4, yeah.
4.
Yeah, me and math, Terry. You know how that goes. All the stuff I do is analytical, math-based, and then get me to add up to 100, and it's a challenge. And I don't know how or why that is, Terry. But I usually stay under 100. Every now and then I get the ruler, the Terry ruler across the knuckles. Hey, you're 10 cents over. What are you going to do? 6 furlongs, claiming $5,000. Not winners of 1 since November the 16th. Don't know why they call that a year. That's not a year in my book. $18,000 is the purse money, Terry. 6 furlongs favors tactical speed. The post positions play fair, 1 through 7. Get a little bit of extra octane if you wear the 8 or out. Approximately 36% of the horses go wire to wire. And in race number 7, a trio of horses. Well, all of them except the 1 might try to take them gate to wire.
That's right. The ones that have the most is the 3, 4, 5, but most of these horses have some speed, so I just don't know. The 2 has an overlay. It's been supposed to be like 8 to 5, and it's listed at 7 to 2 in the morning line. And also the 5 is got a little over even money listed at 2 to 1 in the morning line. Almost all these have pretty good C-zones, except for maybe the 2 and the 6, isn't it? Or 3 and 6, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, Greer. The 2 was the best horse. He looked like the starter assistant hung on to the reins a little bit too long because the horse came out with its head cocked a little bit to the left and then kind of jumped up in the air. And without that start, that 2-horse is probably your winners. I don't doubt that for a minute. And still, I think a tremendous ride by Ruben Silvera just to get the horse into 3rd position because a lot of horses right there, the jockey will rush up, and when he rushes up, they basically end the race. So I applaud Ruben for doing the right thing there. In this race shape, we got the 4-horse over here, Fall Campaign, as one that's never been close, Terry, not within 5 lengths. I think his luck might have an opportunity to change today. The 5-horse is a lone E. Everybody's always looking for that lone speed. But unfortunately for the 5-horse, that early speed number is not on par with a couple of those in front of it. Although does have enough early speed, close enough to that. If they step on the gas, could be a part of the early game. When they come home, show some skin. That one has a lot of late speed, but it'll be joined by the 4, the 5, and the 7. Our combination score tells us that the horse with the best early pace, late pace combination is Show Some Skin by a little bit. I do think you might not be surprised to find the winner come from the 2, the 4, the 5, or the 7, Terry.
I agree. The 5's my top pick. Basie she drops in class today, has a trainer who wins 28% of the races when dropping a horse down 2 classes, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like Show Some Skin. Number 2, she's my second choice. She ran second versus similar in her last race, has the highest last race speed rating. She's tied with another horse and a trainer jockey combination who in the last 14 days have won 2 out of 4 starts with the third. And then number 6 is my third choice. Field Letters, likes the distance and should improve while returning to a sprint. Number 7 is my long shot, finished third versus similar in her last race and has the highest last speed rating. Actually, she's tied with the horse that I talked about, Show Me Some Skin. And then I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 2, 5, 6, 7. And then go with the 3, 4, 7, 9. I'm going to single the 1 in the 9th, and then I'm going to go with the 1, 2, 4, and 6 in the last race.
And then, as far as I'm concerned, in this race, number 7, Bocce, the 5 horse, going to also get the top for me down in class. 30% angle for trainer Miguel Penaloza. I think I got that right. Penaloza, I don't know, something along those lines. Show Some Skin. Yes, indeed. Good idea. Top last race speed figure. Does catch a weight break with Sofia Vives. Usually runs well from start to finish. So when you look at those pace numbers, they're pretty consistent from beginning to end. There's not a drop off anywhere. So it doesn't get off to a slow start and then try to build momentum. Just runs at a good pace from beginning to end. Risque Jewel, that 7 horse, capturing the 3rd crown for me. It's the other horse in here to tie for the top last race speed figure. Again, Craig Milkowski says keep an eye out for those horses that improve their early pace numbers through 4 furlongs. This guy did that and could have a shot to be better in the second start after a layoff. And then finally, Southern Sense, that 3 horse is making its 3rd start off a layoff and probably has the most upside when you look through its past performances, best peak numbers in the group. If it runs at peak numbers, the other one might struggle to catch this one. Pick 4 for me too, Terry. This is a really hard pick 4 for me because I really wanted to go 4 by 4 by 4 by 4 by all or something. But 2, 5, 7 with the 4, 5, 7 with the 1, 2 and the 2, 6, 7, and 10. I got to try to take a shot at beating that one horse. It's going to be like 2 to 5, I feel like. And if you can beat it, you're probably triple the payout on the pick 4.
Yep.
In race number 8, as you can see on the screen, Terry, we got a bunch of horses in here that are first-time starters, along with a couple of horses that just have a few races under their belt. You can't really run any math problems when 0 is in there because you can't divide by 0, Terry. So let's just go straight to picks.
All right. I like the number 4. What's a Gizmo?
What's a gizmo?
A gizmo.
Yeah, what is a gizmo, Terry?
Yeah, she finished in the money in both of her races at Park Racing, and she finished second versus similar last race. And then number 7, let bits show.
Number 7,
yeah,
little bit social. I guess like
social.
A little bit, maybe. I don't know.
She's a first-time starter who has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and a bullet workout on May 11th, 36-4 breezing. And then 9, Tempest Rising. She ran second in her last race. And then I like the 3 as my long shot, Miss Hopefully. Never mind. She is a first-time starter. Her dam has 7 winners from 10 starters, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. No bet for me in this race.
I think they should just go with that name. Oh, never mind. I think that would fit in perfectly. What's a gizmo? I think you have to put this one on top, Terry. It's the most experienced with 2 races in the field. Did run better fractions in race number 2 relative to race number 1. And that was at 6.5 furlongs versus 6 furlongs. So cutting back a half a furlong should be work to its benefit. And the first two races have been pretty good. So one of the first time starters is going to have to do something good today to beat her. Or one of the other horses with experience is going to have to do something it hasn't done so far to beat her. A little bit social, does have that bullet, Terry, that you mentioned, and go. I know it was only against maybe 4 or 5 other horses, but Again, another one of those Barry Meadows alpha angles. If the last workout prior to the debut is a bullet, you want to put that horse in your picks. They tend to do well. Number 5, Fine Whining. Probably has the best work pattern for any horses in this field in terms of the first-time starters. And number 2, Include the Money. It did debut on grass at Gulfstream Park. It bombed, but trainer Guadalupe Presadio is going to bring this horse up from South Florida to Northeast Pennsylvania, where he's got 27% winners with shippers, and then also 25% on that turf to dirt angle. So we'll see if that horse can do something. Trifecta for me, 4, 5, 7 with the 4, 7, with the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. And the next horse for me was the 3. And then the one that scares me the most that I don't have in my picks, Terry, is Casey Kokomo or Casey Mo.
Yeah.
That one's getting first-time Lasix, making its second start off a layoff, 4-start overall. Did run in some pretty good races down at Churchill early in its career. I just wonder if that first-time Lasix is going to be the difference maker, but that looked like an all race to me almost.
It is. You look at all our picks. If you combine both of our picks, we almost have all. So
yeah, we're pretty close to it. And then we're going to go off to race number 9, where I don't think we need to go all, Terry, perhaps. In the 9th race, where they're going to travel 6.5 furlongs for claiming $15,000. Horses that have won a race since February the 16th at 6.5 furlongs. You do want to have tactical speed. Early speed has done best, but tactical speed looks like it's doing the best today. Again, we saw the 7 horse come from off the pace and win. 34% have gone wire to wire. Again, off the pace looks like the play right now, though. You do have an inside 3 bias, 4 through 7 discount, 8 and go out, back to fair. This is a race where I feel like this Vitemi, the 1 horse, is likely to be a pretty strong favorite, Terry, in race number 9. The simulator says it should maybe be 3 to 5.
That's right. It should. It's got the most speed. Look at that, 75% chance to be the quarter pole. And then the 1 has the best, has a overlay, less than even money. It's supposed to be like, what is that, like 6
3 to 5, yeah.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 5 has a pretty nice overlay. It's supposed to be like 5 to 2, and it's listed at 5 to 1 of the morning line. All but the 3 and the 4 have really good C-zone numbers.
And then if you look at how these horses have performed their best in the past, or at least how they found their way to the winning circle, looks like most of these horses, well, that's the wrong race, Terry. That was you got the 1 and the 6, they want to be on the front. 2 and the 3 have 2 and the 5 have some versatility as PC types. But when you look at this, it really could benefit the horses that get to the front, because most want to be middle back. So they might not have to run that fast early on. The 1 and the 6, the 2 that want to be up front should be up front. The question is, do they set a pace that's too fast, or do they set a pace that's comfortable? Because the rest of them probably really don't want to chase them, except for maybe the 2 horse. Late speed belongs to the 4 horse. Frame This, along with Bells on Her Toes. Manuela, a little bit farther back. Those 2 speed horses, Terry, yeah, they might have to build a pretty good lead to hold off some of these others. And finally, the early speed, late speed combination. You find the 1 and the 6, the 2 front runners. If they can run right pace, Terry, they might be able to get wire to wire today. But I think tempo is going to be the key for those 2. Keep the fractions light, and they might get it right. What do you say?
Yeah, I like the number 1. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race, and the rail post is winning, as you said, at an 18% clip. Has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 2, Baby Fades, my second choice. She drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer. Wins 18% of the races in dirt starts. And the 6 is my third choice. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Has a good workout on May 9th. Number 4 is a long shot. Frame This. She likes Parx Racing. She's finished in the money 73% of the time racing there. Won 16% of those starts. Likes a distance, where she's finished in the money 80% of the time and won 20% of those. I'm going to bet $10 to win on the number 1 horse.
Big bet on the 1 horse there, Mr. Terry. 10% of your $100 budget, because that's what we give ourselves to play with. And you can just look at that strong C-zone score, that overlay. I mean, this should be the 1's race to win. I have the 1 as my top choice in here too. Plenty of early speed in this with this one. On the rail, which hits at a pretty good rate as well, with that inside 3 bias. A horse that ran better fractions faster at 6.5 furlongs than it did at 6 furlongs in the previous start, or should be fit, firm, and ready to go. Baby Fade is that number 2 horse for me as well, just like you, Terry. Dropping down in class after running better fractions, better pace numbers in the first half mile of its last effort. Maybe the one I think that has a shot to beat that the one horse. Manuela, the 5 horse, is coming off the top last race speed vigor and dropping in class, a combination that I like to see in the comments of the past performances. Getting a little bit of a weight break in here too. The question for me though with this high overlay horse is it does struggle to win, but it does like to finish in the money. And then finally, Systemic Risk at Parx, 11 times out, 3 seconds, 3/3. Hasn't captured the flag just yet. Does have some early speed as well. Nice workouts getting ready for the first race since November. If it's ready, has a shot. Why do I have the 3 horse in there for me? I think I put the wrong number in there, Terry. I got to go back and change that on my picks real quick. It's supposed to be the 6 and not the 3.
All right.
I don't know why I did that. That happens sometimes, but
Yeah,
it's the 6 horse. There we go. I love the Google Sheets. Thank you for making this changeable for us on the fly.
Yeah.
And there you go. Shows up here too. $1 trifecta, 1, 2 over the 1, 2, 5 over the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, which rolls us in to the last race of the day, race number 10. Another 6 furlong affair. 6 furlongs does favor tactical speed. About 35% of those horses manage to go wire to wire, Mr. Terry. There is a little bit of an advantage if you wear 8 or out. Our speed figure and you got the 1 and the 5 on the sidelines today. But sure looks like our good time, Charlie, if speed could hold in the afternoon, will have a shot.
That's right. The 2's got really a lot of speed. So if you get out of there and not get any pressure, might just go all the way. Look at that 7 has a really nice overlay. It's supposed to be less than even money, and it's 6-1 on the morning line. And then most of these horses have good C zones, except for maybe the 2, 3, and the 7. So it looks pretty good there.
Yeah, Hibachi looks like it could have itself a tough trip as well. Let's see if it has a tough trip as well on our pace setup. Well, interesting race here again, Terry. You got kind of a barbell approach. The 2, the 4, and the 10. That trio wants to be forwardly placed. The 3 horse has some versatility in King's House, so it sits between the speed and the closers. The 3 horse might be the happiest of all in this race, my friend. And the early speed, if it does matter, our good time Charlie does have a little bit of an edge over that PC type. I don't think you're going to see King's House go for the lead. I think you'll see it sit 3rd or 4th, maybe even 5th in this spot. Got a lot of competition for the lead here as well. Late speed goes up Magnetron, a little bit of an edge over San Antone. And that duo has a bit of an edge over that 9 horse Hibachi. So its best chance is to come in off the close. Finally, if our combination score says Magnetron, 4-point advantage over everybody else. The only horse that looks like perhaps it's way over its head is Ronin Warrior. Everybody else looks like it has a shot to collect the W here, according to the pace numbers. Gary, who do you think has the best shot at the end?
I like 10. Big City Bob. He drops in class today, has a trainer, wins 28% of the races when dropping a horse down 2+ classes, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Look at all those boxes he marks off. Then that 7 you've been talking about, Magnetron, he has finished in the money in 3 out of the last 4 races at Parx Racing and drops in class today. Our good time Charlie, the 2, is my 3rd pick, likes Parx Racing, finishing in the money 46% of the races, winning 15% of those starts, and likes the distance, finishing in the money 61% of the time, winning 22% of the starts. And then San Antone, the 6 is my long shot, has a high percentage winning trainer, and has the highest last speed rating. No bet for me as I'm out of budget money.
He out of cash. I got to start with the 2 horse, Our Good Time Charlie. Maybe we should call him Our Good Time Boopa now.
Yeah.
3rd up. So, of course, making Charles's favorite handicapping angle. So, Boopa's favorite handicapping angle. Last time out, man, it ran a better fractions by about 2 seconds. That's some pretty good improvement right there. Really strong C-zone, really strong chance to get to the lead. I wish the odds were a little bit lower on the simulation. But anyway, number 10, Big City Bob, taking a big city class drop in here. At Parx, been out 12 times, a couple of wins, 4 seconds, a couple of thirds. That's 8 out of 12 to me. It's a pretty good percentage winning in the money there. And again, another Craig Mikowski horse that showed some early pace improvement through the first half mile. Magnetron at the distance, 9 times out, hasn't scored once, but does have 4 seconds and 2/3. 6 out of 9, consistent performer. Another that's dropping in class. And if you purview the pace figures and the speed numbers for Magnetron, it probably has the most upside potential in the field. And look at that overlay, Terry. Looks like it should be about 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Finally, San Antone. This horse ran the top last race speed figure. And when you look through its past 10 speed numbers, this horse has a very high floor, very low ceiling, extremely consistent horse. You're going to have to beat this one because, again, it's going to put in a really good effort. Does it have the upside juice to score it? Probably not. But if everybody else doesn't run to their level, the 6 horse will put in an effort and make it difficult to beat. I do have, I think, $4 left, so I could do a trifecta here. 2, 7, 10 with the 210 with the 2, 6, 7, 9, and 10 to complete our picks at Parx. And here is our full card of picks today for 10 races and the Parx card. Terry, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here today?
Yeah, I'm hoping that we have some more pick fours today like we did yesterday. And I'm hoping everybody has a good week. It's been hot here. It's going to get in the 90s again today. And then other than that, just, keep yourself safe. And, look at there. There's a $2 or $4 daily double, I guess, or $2 daily double. I don't know.
I think it's a $4 daily double, race number 9, the 2 and the 8.
2 and 8. Okay.
Another daily double of integrity from Chris. And then he's going to back it up with the 10 horse, the 8 to win in race number 10.
All right. And if you like what you see today, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. Even if you don't like it, subscribe on YouTube.
I guess love us or hate us, baby. Yeah. Just don't be milquetoast.
And then hit the little bell so you get notified of all of our programs. We have so many programs. We have lots going on anyway. And give us a like and a thumbs up. Go to our social sites such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter.
Left out Twitter, yes.
And Twitter, yes. At Horse Race, the number 2 day. And give us thumbs ups and likes and tell all your friends, relatives, everybody else to come and help us out. So
coming up in race number 3, Greer says keep an eye on that 4 horse, which is Terry and I, our third pick. So we have it in consideration as well. So look out for that. Also look out for Terry and I tomorrow as we get together again because Bupa is away. He's off to California. So Terry will be filling in for Bupa. It's a term of endearment, Charles. So just wear it, my friend.
Yeah, that's right.
So Terry will be filling in for Bupa Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow we'll do Horseshoe Indianapolis where they have 4 $100,000 stakes races. So probably the best card available tomorrow. And then on Thursday, of course, we'll take off to Belmont Park in Elmont, New York. Why did he think they call the track Belmont if it's in Elmont? So you think someone just threw the B in there? I'm sure. I don't know. There must be the founder's name was. I think his name was Belmont, actually. I think he was the governor at one time. In any case, we'll do Belmont Thursday. On Friday, Tom will be off. Of course, that's the Black Eyed Susan. We will have our wagering guide and all of our picks available over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet for both the Preakness and the Black Eyed Susan Friday, probably on Thursday. So you want to make sure you don't miss that. Again, there's a link down in the description below. If you're a big baseball fan, our friend Professor Sides at Picks with the Professor, link down there below using his statistics professorness to find baseball winners. All right, Terry, again, if you like what you saw, thumbs up. We'll see you tomorrow when we do Horseshoe Indianapolis. No matter what it is you're due today, we certainly hope that you do receive God's favor and that every single pick, every single thing you do, every single phone call you make up at work today ends up in
the winner's circle.
Indeed. Again, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you sharing time with us and look forward to doing it again tomorrow at Horseshoe Indy, or more appropriately named Indiana Grand.
Yes, I like that better.